Hello, everybody. I'm Kurt Gowdy. I think to me, and undoubtedly to you, one of the joys of sports, the intrigue, the fun, is arguing. Who is the greatest? Who is the best? Who was the most overrated? Who was the most underrated? These arguments go on and on. Sometimes they're not too friendly, but that's, to me, the real fun of sports. And I think one sport that you can probably get deeper into these arguments than any other is the sport of boxing. And so, for 6 shows, we're going to take a look at boxing's greatest champions. Who was the greatest heavyweight of all time? We're going to divide the heavyweight division into 2 parts. One including the big punchers, and the other the boxing champions or the stylists. Then we'll move to the light heavyweight division, the middleweight, the welterweight, the lightweight, and we'll cap it off in our final show with a conclusion from the Boxing Writers Association, the top experts, writers who've covered the fight game most of their lives, their opinion of who are the greatest champions of all time, and also we want to try and match it up with yours. One of those experts is Larry Merchant. Larry Merchant's been a top newspaper sports columnist. He's covered boxing most of his young adult life. He's been an author, written books in sports. He's a television commentator and a television producer. And Larry, you've got quite a break here being with me on this first division. Boxing's greatest champions, the heavyweights, the big punchers in the heavyweight divisions. I think the top prize in sports is the heavyweight crown, don't you?
I don't think there's any doubt about it, because the man who's the heavyweight champion theoretically can beat any man in the world.
And also financially can beat just about anybody in the world in sports, right?
I guess so, but I don't know how well you can compare fighters as anyone else from different eras, sports writers or sports casters for that matter.
Well, we're going to try, and we're going to ask you, the public, to try. And here we go now into the big punchers of all time of the heavyweight division. And Larry, we're going to sit back here and watch Smokin Joe Frazier.
Frazier beginning to go to work on tough George Chuvalo here in round 3. Frazier climaxed a fine amateur career by winning the 1964 Olympic heavyweight title 3 years before. Putting a lot of pressure on George Chuvalo late in the round. George has a bad cut over his left eye, and the referee will be watching it closely. Frazier comes out for round 4, looking to finish it. A left hook opens the cut above Chuvalo's eye, and the referee wisely stops the fight. Smokin Joe Frazier records another knockout in his quest for the heavyweight championship. Frazier's style is often compared to that of Rocky Marciano, the former world heavyweight champion. Joe, like The Rock, never stops throwing punches and is always in tremendous condition. Frazier and Mathis are both undefeated as professionals, though Buster in the amateur ranks twice defeated Joe by winning close decisions. But this fight is another story. Mathis tries to cover up. Frazier rips a sharp left hook to the jaw, and the 240-pound Mathis hits the canvas. That one punch, a left hook, was a climax of damaging body blows, which had worn down the heavier Mathis. Mathis out on his feet, and the referee wisely halts the fight. Joe Frazier wins a spectacular victory as boxing debuts in the new Madison Square Garden. Ellis in white trunks is by far the superior boxer, and he is going to have to be. Joe never intends to win any fight on point. Hard body punches and a crashing left hook are the keystones in Frazier's attack. Combinations are the name of the game, and Frazier's putting them all together tonight. Frazier has Ellis on the ropes, and Ellis goes down. Ellis is up at the count of 8 and ready to continue. And now Frazier goes to work like a well-oiled machine, hitting to the body and head.
for round 2. Joe Frazier in black trunks, stalking world light heavyweight champion Bob Foster in blue. Smokin Joe Frazier's all business in there. Frazier constantly pressing. And Foster is hit with a paralyzing left hook. Frazier goes to a neutral corner as the referee picks up the count. Bob is hurt. Foster courageously gets to his feet. Champion Joe Frazier moves in to finish it. Paralyzing punches by champion Joe Frazier. A dynamite left hook and Bob Foster goes down again. The referee picks up the count. Bob vainly tries to get to his feet. It's all over. Joe Frazier wins by a sudden, dramatic knockout in round 2.
A pulverizing left hook sends Ali to the canvas. In slow motion, let's take a look at that knockdown once again. The referee wipes off Ali's gloves, and Frazier moves in to finish it. There's the bell ending the fight. When the decision comes, it's unanimous. Joe Frazier retains the World Heavyweight Championship, winning from Muhammad Ali in one of the great fights of all time.
All right, Larry, Joe Frazier, a champion for 5 years until he was dethroned by Foreman, a crowd pleaser. How do you rate him as an all-time heavyweight champ?
I should preface my remarks, Kurt, by pointing out that I have a sort of emotional stake in Joe Frazier, much as I once had a financial stake in him. When I was in Philadelphia as a sports writer, I was one of the original shareholders in Cloverlay, which underwrote Frazier's professional career. And I think I got involved there in part because of the qualities that I saw in Joe Frazier that I always admired. The tenacity, the tough-mindedness, the tremendous ambition. To fight the way Frazier does, in the style originated by Jack Dempsey and followed through by Marciano, is the hardest way to fight and be successful. To be able to walk in there and take punches until you just literally wear the other man down. The punishment you have to take, the price you have to pay is awfully tough. And Frazier was a great fighter in my judgment.
Well, you're going to have to rate him with some of the others coming along. Frazier have the best left hook you've ever seen?
It was one of the most dramatic because his right hand really was just a parrying tool. The left hook, the Philadelphia left hook, as it's called in Philadelphia, was the punch that generally did the work for Joe Frazier. He was a tremendous body puncher. I don't know that I've ever seen a heavyweight who worked as hard to the body as Joe Frazier did. And when he fought the good fighters, that's what defeated them.
One of the most